What's up, gang? Hey man, in this video I am going to tell you exactly why women obsess over the guys that they are emotionally weak for. So make sure you watch this video to the very end. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Make sure you share this with somebody who needs to hear this. And without further ado, let's jump into the video. Alright, so I'm gonna give you guys a secret about women, man. At the end of the day, a woman can never be obsessed or attached to a guy that she is not emotionally weak for. If she don't catch herself feeling jealousy, hatred, anger, sadness, some emotions, some strong emotions towards this guy, she could never ever love that guy or be attached to that guy. If every time she think of this guy and all she feel is you know, I'll take it or leave it type shit, she can never be emotionally attached or obsessed to that guy. So all you guys out there that's caring too much, that's always thinking about how a woman feels, you guys are setting yourself up for failure, because you will never ever get a woman attached to you or obsessed with you. Because at the end of the day, the guy who cares less, that doesn't give a fuck how she feeling. He understands that her emotions are gonna change like the wind. She might be happy this day, she might hate your guts the next day, she might be sad one day, she might be deeply in love and you can't do no wrong the next day. You understand that her emotions are unpredictable. That's why you gotta stop caring so much about what a bitch think. At the end of the day, a true masculine trait is a guy who does not care about these hoes. Your beauty does not matter to me. What it took for me to become the man that I've become is probably more so than what it took for you to be beautiful. For example, I grew up in a rough neighborhood, right? You know what I mean? I remember as a kid, you know, fighting outside in the front yard. Or I remember being in Florida. You know, Florida very racist, open racist, right? I think every place is racist, right? At the end of the day, you feel me? Like, I don't really get too caught up into racism and stuff like that, because I understand that stereotypes exist. You feel me? Black people are racist, white people are racist, everybody's racist, right? If I see a Chinese person, I'm gonna think that they good at math. Just like if you see a black person, you probably think that he good at basketball or sports or some shit, or he probably can run or some shit. You know what I mean? So everybody gonna have biases and things like that, right? It's very rare that somebody's gonna look at somebody from a different background or different ethnicity and not have some sort of bias towards that person. So I understand racism, right? And I grew up in Florida, you know, racism was common. But I remember those days where kids was calling me nigger and tried to jump me, you know, in front of in the apartments that we used to live in. I remember those days going to Camp Seminole, where I was out here fighting the kids, getting thrown off of big old, they had like a ship in one of the playground yards, like a real big high ship. And I used to always fight the older kids. So they'll throw me off the damn thing, try to feed me beetles, and I come back and fight them every day. That's just who I am. I just had a lot of pride, a lot of ego when I was younger. So I try to fight them every day till I won. Now those kids was a lot older than me. I never beat them up, but the kids my age, I could beat up. You feel me? Because I always was used to fighting older kids. So at the end of the day, I remember being in those fights. I remember my first year playing football. I was 10 years old. The kids that was playing before me, 6 years old, they've been playing since they was 6. One kid was built like a horse. Our best player was built like a horse at the age of 10. The dude he had to cut weight. And I think our weight limit was like 150 or whatever. He had to cut weight just to play on our team, and he was all muscle. So I remember going in those head up drills, hitting this kid, blacking out every single time I hit this kid. I remember that stuff. I remember breaking bones playing football. I remember breaking the kid's rib my first game I ever played, because I was always the dumb kid who raised his hand because nobody else wanted to go head up or do a head up drill with the hardest hitter on our fucking team at my first year. You feel me? We had a guy named Toe, and he was a demon. You know what I mean? He grew up with older brothers. He was strong as hell. He was already doing push-ups, and he just was built like a horse. The kid, every time I went head up with this kid, I would black out. And my dumb ass would still raise my hand and be like, who want to go against Toe? My dumb ass keep raising my fucking hand. So then the first game that we played against some soft ass kids, and I ended up breaking the kid rib on the first fucking game, because we was built to hit hard as fuck. Like, you feel me? Like, that's how we was built. I remember breaking my arm making a tackle in high school. You feel me? I remember all of this pain and suffering. I remember my 2 knee surgeries. I remember breaking my collarbone, going for interception in PE class, landing on my goddamn collarbone, snapping that shit. I remember splitting my eye open where the bone is showing through and shit. Blood was everywhere. I remember all of that shit. I remember what it took and what it was like growing up as a man in the USA. I remember competing against other men. I remember how violent we were. I remember how tough we had to be. I remember there was no crying. I wasn't a crying kid. Even when I broke my arm, I didn't cry. My stepfather didn't even know my arm was broken. And I was trying to close the door. I was like, I can't move my arm. He was like, man, ain't nothing wrong with you, man. Because I wasn't crying. My shit fucking snapped. I went 3 days, couldn't even fucking sleep. 2 to 3 days, couldn't even sleep. My mom was like, man, my son is tougher than that. He not gonna keep complaining about his arm, ain't nothing wrong. My stepdad said, man, ain't nothing wrong with him. He just got a stinger. Went to the doctor, whole fucking growth plate was split. You feel me? I remember this shit. So then when I'm talking to a fucking woman who hasn't, and I talk to women, beautiful women, never been in a fight, never had a broken bone. The worst they probably had is a broken nail. And these women think that they fucking on my level, or they think that they the fucking prize, or they think that they did something with their fucking life. Girl, all you did was be cute your whole fucking life, and you got every door open for you. I remember the hell that I had to go through. I remember the dark days. You feel me? I remember all that shit. You know what I mean? And not every man has been through my life. Some men have been through worse. Some men have been through less. But at the end of the day, us as men, we know what it's like growing up as a fucking man. We know the competitions that we have to go through. We know the pain and suffering that we have to go through as men. We know that when we feel pain, ain't no fucking crying. You feel me? Ain't no bitching, ain't no complaining. We know that we have to be accountable for our fucking actions. You get what I'm trying to say? We understand this shit. So then when I turn my care down for a bitch, I understand that, girl, you don't know, you in your mind you think you're on my level. You are not. You know what I mean? I remember, and you gotta understand, if a girl want to be equal, I'm gonna treat her ass as equal. I remember one girl was like, she thought she can take me in a fucking basketball game. I said, all right, let's go to the court. Destroyed her 15-0. She was like, you're just really quick. You're just really fast. You're just strong. You're just this. You're just this. Girl, you can't beat me, girl. It's just not fucking happening. I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't give a fuck you played fucking D1. I don't give a fuck where you played. You're a fucking girl. Like, I've been through shit. Like, you feel me? One fucking girl was supposed to be a gold medal jiu-jitsu chick. She was like, I bet you I can submit you. I was like, all right, try. Man, she couldn't submit me if her fucking life depended on it. I broke out of every move. If anything, I don't know shit about jiu-jitsu, and I submitted her ass. And she was just like, how the fuck are men so strong? How the fuck are men so strong? And she was a strong girl. She ain't no weak chick. She was a boxer, strong ass chick. She couldn't do shit with me, motherfucker. I've been through pain. I've been through fucking darkness. I've been through all of this shit, and most men have. If men compete against other men, have ever competed against other men, whether you a wrestler, whether you a fucking football player, whether you a boxer, whether you whatever the fuck it is, you know what it fucking takes to compete against other men. You know that's the top of the top, cream of the crop. So why the fuck when we come to dating, you guys put this bitch on the fucking pedestal? Like she can do no fucking wrong. And you allow her to lead the fucking relationship. It makes no sense to me. I can't see it. It doesn't make sense to me. I remember it like it was yesterday. The moment I turned my care down for the girls and I started moving to the beat of my own drum, the women became obsessed with me. And when I say I turned my care down and everything. I'm not letting no girl win no fucking Connect 4 game. I'm not letting her beat me in checkers. I'm not letting her beat me on the motherfucking basketball court. I'm not letting this bitch think she got an upper hand on me in no damn way. If you want to fucking compete with me, I tell a girl, I be like, hey, before we do some shit, now before you try to wrestle with me and think that you like that, understand, I'm not holding back on your ass. No, I think I can take you. I think I can submit you. I was a gold medal jiu-jitsu. I think I can submit you. Alright, I'm not finna hold back on your ass just cause you a girl. And they quickly realized, damn, this nigga done been through some shit. And every one of those girls that I told you about, the ones that I done beat in basketball, the ones that I done fucking damn near showed them that I could submit them, the ones that I done all this shit with, I fucked all them bitches. You wanna know why? Because none of those girls lost respect for me. Most guys would have tried to let her win and try to do all this bullshit. Fuck that shit. Stop caring so much about what these girls feel. Stop calling these women. Stop caring so goddamn much. If you want a girl moving to the beat of your drum, you can't care too much about these women. If that's how you want a girl moving, you want a girl moving to the BO drum, you can't care too much about these women, man. You can't do it. Because at the end of the day, they're going to trick you out your spot. If you want a girl seriously attached to you, seriously obsessed with you, you want her pussy dripping for you, she has to know that you are superior to her in every way possible. She hasn't been through what you've been through as a man. I know what it's like living as a man. We don't get no sympathy points. Motherfuckers ain't coming up to me like, hey, can I take you on a trip somewhere? Can I do something for you? Can I do this for you? We not getting that. That's not happening with us as a man. You get where I'm coming from? So at the end of the day, the reason why my channel exists and the reason why I tell you guys to care less, because naturally you should care less, because no matter how much she thinks that she's the prize just for simply existing, you had to do something to become the man that you are today. You had to do something to be an attractive man that you are today. You know, some guys hit the gym, some guys are in incredible shape, some guys are very talented salespeople, some guys are very talented business owners, some guys are very talented in some aspect of their life that they had to do something to become the man that they are today in order to even be attractive to women in the first place. So she can't be the prize if all she did is exist. And you had to do something to get her. Girls don't just walk up to dudes and start spitting game. You're the one that has to have the skills to lead her from not knowing you to get to know you, to being able to hook up with you, whatever the case is, whatever your strategy is, whatever your process is, whatever it is. You the one that did that. So when you get this girl that literally is just not on your level, and I've listened to, I have tons of rotation chicks, I've listened to tons of chicks. At the end of the day, very few of them can even compare to half of the stuff that I've done in my life. And I didn't even tell you guys everything, right? I remember when I first started my first business, when I was running the company for College Pro Painters. I remember in the snow when I was in Minnesota knocking on 1,000 doors till my hand froze. I remember a girl that I was seeing at the time was like, oh, I want to go out and knock doors with you. She knocked on probably 20 doors and said, I'm going back home. I can't do this. It's freezing. I can't feel my hand. I stayed out there for an extra 4 hours after she went home. That's the difference. And I'm not even used to the snow. I'm not even used to freezing weather. My hand was freezing too. But guess what? I'm a man. You feel me? So how am I going to look at her on the same level as me? She can't even knock on doors for, I think she was out there for 30 minutes. So how can I see her on the same level as me? Why would I put so much care into her? Why would I put so much care into a person that I know isn't on my level in that sense? So at the end of the day, the reason I tell you guys that you should be caring less, because at the end of the day, the one who is the superior in the relationship is the one that should care the less. Just like the boss of the company cares less than the employee. They care more about the company because the company is theirs. But the boss of the company, you notice that they can do what the fuck they want. You notice they don't care as much about sticking to the rules and shit like that, because they made the fucking rules. It's their company. What you gonna do? Tell the boss, hey man, you shouldn't do that. Motherfucker, this is my company. That's how you gotta be dealing with when you're dealing with women. How's she gonna tell you what to do? You the fucking boss. You had to do something right for her to fucking choose you in the first place. And I know you guys that don't get a lot of play, you think that like, oh, I usually don't get girls. This is the only girl that I got in so long, so I gotta do everything right for this particular chick. I gotta care. I gotta do everything. I gotta do everything. At the end of the day, she still chose you, which automatically makes you the superior. Women very rarely choose a guy that she's more superior than. A woman making $1 million a year, top tier education, very rarely can she choose a guy that's she's more superior than. Something about this guy is more superior. Even if it's not the money. I was watching some TV show, I think it's I don't know if it's Selling Sunset or one of them damn real estate reality TV shows, where one of the girls, I forgot her name, Mary or some shit, she dating a young dumb jock. You feel me? He broke, he a construction guy, she sell real estate, she's the breadwinner in the family, but she's old, she's past her prime, she's not that attractive, she's been ran through by one of the guys that she works for, has already hooked up with her, and she's dating a young guy. Even though he doesn't have as much money as her, he's still bigger than her, he's still stronger than her, and she still treats him like he's less than her. He's a bigger, stronger, more capable guy than her, even though she makes more money, and he still walks around the show like a little fucking lapdog. You feel me? Because he doesn't know his worth. You feel me? At the end of the day, if all else failed, if the world fell apart and money wasn't worth anything, he still will have better natural survival techniques than even her. She's still gonna need him. So for some of you guys to be like, man, I ain't got no money, man, you know, I should start caring more about, bro, you're a guy, you're already bigger and stronger than her. That enough should put you on a goddamn pedestal. You feel me? And don't fall into and a lot of guys, they fall into these little slick things that women say. Women will say slick stuff to you to make you want to care more about them and try to shame you. So the guys to be like, oh, you want to be on a pedestal? Which, are you the girl? Who the fuck ever said the girl was ever on the pedestal in the first place? I remember watching John Gotti's son. John Gotti, he had a son, right? His son, I think it's Junior, whatever. I don't know the son, but the son was talking about his father. I think he was talking with the valuetainment guy, Patrick Bet-David, and he was like, you know, one thing about my father, he said, when I walked in the house, he wasn't the guy where my mom ran things. My father ran that house. I remember going to some of my other friends' house where the woman ran things and the woman dictated things in the house, but with my father, he was a man's man. He said everybody respected my father. My mother respected my father. I respected my father. I've heard stories about people who spent time in jail with John Gotti. They respected John Gotti. John Gotti was a man's man. John Gotti would say, hey, don't disrespect me. Dude would disrespect him. John Gotti was an old man. He'll fight. He'll get his ass whooped. And John Gotti say, you know what? You got me that time. But I tell you one thing, you disrespect me again, we're going to be fighting every day in this motherfucker till one of us die. John Gotti was a man's man. He was a man's man. And guess what? He garnered respect not only from women, but from other men. So when I'm telling you guys, care less. Stop caring about her feelings. How can you care about something that isn't predictable? If you a man caring solely about how a woman feels, you will lose your mind. Because her emotions are unfucking predictable. I get girls that I don't want to deal with them, right? They just, for whatever reason, this particular day, their emotions just all over the place, and I just don't want to deal with them. So I just say, hey man, hit me up when you chill. You feel me? Hit me up when you get your stuff together, because you got a lot going on. And I don't talk to them. I'm just done. I'm just not talking to them. You know, 9 times out of 10, they hit me back up and they just be like, oh, I'm so sorry about the other day. You know, I was just on my period, or I just had a lot going on. I'm so sorry. How can I make it up to you? And after those conversations, you know, I end up getting the best head, best pussy I've ever got out of that girl. So at the end of the day, you guys over here worried about how the girl feels. You worried about what she think of you. You worried about what she telling her friends. You worried about all this bullshit. Even caring about that. This is what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. Caring about how she feels. Caring about what she tells her friends. Caring about if she comes while you fuck her. Caring about do you treat her better than the other men in her past treated her. Caring about all of this bullshit puts you in your feminine energy, whether you believe it or not. Masculine men move to the beat of their own drum. They're conquering things. They're doing their purpose. They're doing things that make them happy. They're doing things that give them purpose. They're doing things that fulfill them. A woman can't tell a man to hey, no, stay home, don't make money today. Nah, I'm gonna go get this goddamn money. I like what I'm doing. This is my purpose. A woman can't tell me, let's say for example, for right now, right? You know, I run a business, things like that. Let's say this YouTube thing pop off for me, right? Let's say they start inviting me to podcasts and start flying me, and they say, hey, we need you on this podcast, we need you on this podcast, we want you to debate here, we want you to do this, we want you to do this, right? Let's say that happens for me in my life, right? You think I'm gonna let a woman tell me, no, can you stay back and hang out with me? I don't want you to fly there. You've been going all week. Can you just kick it with me? I don't want you making money. You really think I'm finna fold for a woman? Fuck up my purpose, fuck up my bag for a fucking woman who I'm already most likely using my resources for in some way, form, or fashion? Whether she not living with me, whether I'm taking her on dinner dates, whatever the fuck I'm doing with her, I'm already sharing my fucking resources with this bitch in the first place. You think I'm gonna let her trick me out of my bag because I care to what she thinks? Because I care how she feels? I'm not saying don't compromise ever. I mean, even I compromise sometimes, but I compromise because I want to. But at the end of the day, when it comes to getting the bag or doing my purpose or doing something that is bigger than her, I'm going to do it. You gotta understand, a lot of guys are putting too much value on used pussy. Way too much value on used pussy. I was watching a podcast. It was a girl on the podcast. On a scale of 1 to 10, on my book, she was a 1. She was very unattractive. On a scale of 1 to 10, she was a 1. They told her to rate herself. She said she was an 8. So all the guys, us guys, we know her unattractive. The lady had a stain on her shirt. Her titties was saggy. She had a fat belly. Had an ugly face. She was a very unattractive chick. So all the guys looking at each other on the podcast like, you rate yourself an 8? He's like, okay, if 1,000 guys was in the room, what do you think they would rate you? She said, oh, they would rate me a 10. And the guy was like, the fuck? Like they was just looking like he said, so guys would rate you? She's like, yeah, guys are obsessed with me. I have stalkers. I have guys obsessed with me. I have guys that won't stop hitting me up. I have guys all the time. So I'm a 10 because guys hit me up all the time. Man, I looked at that chick. I said, bro, if you got stalkers, dudes have lost their way for real. I'm starting to think that it ain't the women's fault. It's really these men's fault for real. It's really the simps that's really fucking it up. Cause ain't no way in hell a girl that fucking ugly should have stalkers. Like, I wouldn't hit it if she was the only chick in the party that was going. Type shit. If she was the only chick in the party that was like, oh, I'm down to, you know, hook up with you. I'm down to suck you. She could even say, I'm down to give you head. I would say, nah, I'm good. You know what I mean? I'd rather go home and go to sleep than to fuck that bitch. The fact that she said guys are constantly hitting me up and are constantly obsessed with me told me everything that I need to know about today's society. I say, damn, we in a fucked up space, man. Somebody's blowing me up right now. I say, damn, we in a fucked up predicament, man. We in a real fucked up predicament, man. So I tell you guys all of that to tell you this. You will never get a woman obsessed with you or attached to you if you aren't a man's man and don't move to the beat of your own drum. The only way that you can move to the beat of your own drum is if you turn down your care significantly. You gotta stop caring what girls say. You gotta stop caring how they feel. You gotta stop caring what they say to their fucking friends. You gotta be a man's man, know what you want out of life, move to the beat of your own drum. And if a girl wants to partake in your lifestyle and what you got going on, okay, more power to her. You feel me? And you gotta go after the girls that you're excited about. Stop going for this low-hanging fruit. I honestly believe that guys that consistently go for long-hanging fruit that they really don't like that, those are the guys that low-key actually end up suffering long-term. You feel me? Because they do get some success, but they get some success with the girl that they're not that excited about, and then they just keep going down in this fucking downhill spiral, and then they start to believe that the girls that they really want are are out of their league or hard to obtain or whatever the case is, right? That's not the case. The case is you shouldn't even give that raggedy bitch a shot in the first fucking place. Because I feel like even hooking up with girls that's way below you naturally lowers your value, because then when you do get a girl that you feel is way higher than the rest of the other girls that you've had in the past, you naturally start fucking caring more. But what you really don't fucking know is it don't matter how hot this bitch is. All girls are damn near the fucking same, if not similar. So you might as well go for the ones that fit your criteria in terms of looks and what they got. If you like big titty bitches, go for big titty bitches. If you like big booty bitches, go for big booty bitches. Stop going for the flat ass bitch when you a big booty guy. Stop going for the A cup chick when you like them double D's. You go find you a big old double D titty bitch and go for that. Because what you gonna realize is they're damn near similar. All you gotta do is turn your care down. Probably one of the reasons that you get in the bitches that you don't like is because you naturally don't give a fuck about them bitches. If you like a big booty bitch, you talk to a flat booty bitch, you really don't give a fuck where the fucking conversation go. Then you be like, oh, I'm surprised that I only get to fuck the fucking flat booty bitches when I like big booty bitches. Yeah, because you don't care about her. So use that same I don't give a fuck with the big booty bitch. You're gonna find out they're fucking similar. Women ain't the same, but they fucking similar. So if you want a woman obsessed with you, attached to you, you want the floodgates to open, you want a girl really moving to the BDO on drum, you gotta give her something to follow. You gotta be that guy. You gotta, and the reason I told you those stories about myself in the beginning, because all of you guys have been forged through the fire. Just living as a man in general. Living as a man is way harder than living as a woman. So that alone, and don't be one of those guys that fucked around and got in the gym, put some muscle on, did some shit like that. You feel me? Got a little height, got a little fucking swag and shit. Don't be one of those guys who did some personal development. Now she really can't tell you shit. That's how you need to be walking through. You see how delusional these women are, y'all think they 10s? You gotta understand that even if they were 10, it wasn't an earned 10. So she don't even appreciate her beauty like that. You feel me? It wasn't earned. If you became a 10 as a man, it was earned. Ain't nobody rolling out no red carpet for you. Ain't nobody flying you to Dubai. Ain't nobody in your inbox trying to give you money. Ain't nobody ain't nobody doing that shit for you as a man. So everything you got, you earned that shit. So take the time, write down all the shit that you've been through, that you know a woman hasn't been through. Even the fact that you have to compete with other men. If you've ever played a sport or anything and you played against other men, that's already separating yourself from women. You already separating yourself from the majority of women. So start thinking of yourself more highly. Because at the end of the day, the reason that you live in the life that you don't want to live, and the reason that you're not getting the results that you really don't truly care for, is because you care too fucking much. And the reason you care too much is because deep down in your psychology, you feel like this woman who has done nothing and was born and given everything is on a pedestal, is a higher level than you, when in actuality, in order for you to be attractive to her, you're on a higher level than her. Naturally, women date up. They don't date guys on their level. They date up. So if she giving you a chance to hook up, date, whatever the case is, you're already on a higher level than her. Something about you has put you on a higher level than her. So now you gotta move accordingly. The person that's on the highest level, the person that is the superior, cares less. It would be weird if the boss of the company cared more than you. You're the employee. You're trying to do everything to not get fired. That's the position that she should feel. Think about it. If you're an employee of a company and the boss is like, hey man, what can I do for you, man? I want you to have a great experience here. I want you to work here. You'll be like, this is weird as fuck. Why is this boss such a bitch? He owns the company and he's sucking my dick. I'm just a fucking employee. Why is he trying to do red carpet treatment, motherfucker? I should be proving to him that I'm a good employee. Like, it don't make sense if a boss was like that, and some bosses are like that. I'm gonna give you this last story and I gotta go, but this is sad, but it's true, right? I took a class about slavery in one of my colleges, right? When I went to college, I took a class about slavery, right? This is sad, but it's true. There were two types of slave owners back in the day, right? There were some slave owners who were very brutal, very mean, very brutal. They beat their slaves tremendously. Like, they were very mean, nasty slave owners, right? I'm not saying that you should be like this, but I'm just understand the story. And then there were slave owners that were very caring and loving to their slaves, which it sounds like that's the right slave owner, right? Like, the one that's caring, that's nice, that doesn't believe in beating and stuff like that. Well, when the revolution came and the slaves, there was a time, I forgot the year and the date, you guys can look it up. There's a time where the slave owners were like revolting, and they were they were revolting. They were breaking free and stuff like that. The slave owners that were the sweet, nice slave owners that treated their slaves very well, some of the most violent ways they were murdered during that revolution. And some of the meanest, nastiest slave owners weren't touched during the revolution. Some of the nicest, sweetest, kindest slave owners was brutally murdered, beheaded by their slaves when the revolution happened. The slaves were so pissed at this owner because they don't know nothing else. All they know is you know, their plantation. They don't know nothing else. They would torture, behead, like really do a number to not only that slave owner, but to his family as well. They did very vile things when they broke free. But the slave owner that was really mean, really stern, and the slaves were afraid of that person, they didn't touch him during the revolution. They were afraid to even touch him or to cause any serious harm to that slave owner. Now, I'm not saying do no shit that extreme. That's some back in the day bullshit. But what I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, the nice guy fucking finished last. The nice guy gets ran over at the end of the day. You caring too much about a chick, she's going to naturally see it as a weakness. It's human psychology. It's not women's psychology. It's human psychology. So what happens is, the majority of these guys out here simping over women consistently puts the woman in a place of power, which she doesn't even know why she's in that place of power, because she thought she was dating you for leadership, provision. She thought you were the superior out of the two, just to find out that you're putting her in a position of power. She's like, oh, what the fuck am I doing leading? Why am I in a position of power? What the fuck is going on? I don't know where the fuck to take this fucking relationship. You know what I mean? I don't even know how to control my own brain most of the fucking times. Why the fuck am I leading this fucking relationship? Why did this guy who I thought was superior acting like a bitch? It's similar to you working for a company and the boss is in love with you, pandering to you, doing all this shit. You be like, why the fuck is the boss of this company so fucking weird? You know what I mean? I should be proving myself to him that I'm even a good employee. Like, this is a weird predicament to be in, right? And human nature, 9 times out of 10, if something like that happened, humans will take advantage of the weak. 9 times out of 10. Even you. If you got a boss that's pandering to you, you gonna start taking advantage of that boss. Oh, I like my coffee hot. Oh, I like my shoes shined. Oh, I like this. Oh, I like... If the boss keep offering shit, you gonna keep taking that motherfucking shit. You get what I'm trying to say? That's what happens with women. The reason why I get women on my time frame is because they know I don't play that shit. Your beauty don't have the same effect on me like it do these other fucking simps. I'm not one of them. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. If you really want a girl obsessed with you, you got to turn that care down. And with that being said, I'm out. Peace.